I caught my girlfriend whispering another man's name in her sleep, and that was the moment my entire world cracked open. I remember staring at her, drunk and stumbling into bed earlier that night, thinking she just needed rest. But when she turned over, clutched my arm, and softly breathed out a name that wasn't mine, it felt like a knife slid quietly between my ribs. And the worst part was the way she said it. Tender, familiar, like she belonged to someone else entirely. That's when everything inside me told me something was terribly wrong and I needed to know the truth. My name is Drew. I'm 31, and I had been with Isla for almost 4 years. We weren't perfect, but we were steady. Warm evenings on the couch, silly arguments, inside jokes no one else would ever understand. I thought we were building something lasting. She always told me I made her feel safe, that she had never trusted anyone the way she trusted me. I clung to those words more than I should have. I see that now. Our life was simple. Too simple, maybe. Weeks blended into months, routines settled in, and I convinced myself her recent distance was just stress. When she started going out with friends more often, I tried to be supportive. When she came home later than usual, smelling like a mix of perfume and liquor, I told myself she deserved fun. When she guarded her phone like it contained nuclear codes, I brushed it off as paranoia. Love makes you blind, but hope makes you stupid. The night she came home drunk was the tipping point. She stumbled through the door, giggling at something on her phone. She didn't even notice I was sitting at the table waiting for her. She barely acknowledged me before collapsing on the bed fully dressed. I covered her with a blanket, tried not to be hurt, tried to believe the distance was temporary. And then she whispered his name. Not once, not twice, but over and over, like she was dreaming about him, laughing softly in her sleep. My chest tightened and my stomach dropped. I sat there frozen for almost an hour, listening to her betray me without even being awake. The next morning she acted like nothing happened. Hugged me, kissed my cheek, asked if we had eggs. I stared at her, wondering how someone could shatter me so quietly and still smile like they were innocent. I didn't say anything. Not yet. Instead, I watched. I paid attention. I noticed she was texting more than ever. I noticed she suddenly cared about how she looked when going out with the girls. I noticed she never let her phone leave her hand. Every lie felt like a brick building a wall between us, and I knew she had someone else on the other side. I needed proof, not because I wanted to destroy her, but because I needed to save myself from the constant doubt. One night when she jumped in the shower, her phone lit up on the counter. A message preview popped up, a name I'd never seen before, and the message read, "Can't stop thinking about last night." My entire body went cold. I didn't open the phone. I didn't need to. That one sentence told me everything she wasn't brave enough to admit. I spent the next few days pretending everything was normal. I smiled. I kissed her forehead. I asked about her day. And all the while, I planned my exit. I didn't want a dramatic confrontation. I wanted something that would make her look in the mirror and see every lie she told reflected back at her. Karma doesn't need violence. It just needs the truth. I reached out to the number that had messaged her. I introduced myself politely and told him exactly who I was. I expected anger or arrogance or denial. But what I got was confusion. Then guilt. Then an apology. He didn't know she was in a relationship. She told him I was her controlling roommate, not her partner. He offered to send me everything. Messages, photos, screenshots of her telling him she wished she had met him first, that I was boring, that I didn't challenge her. Each message hurt more than the last, but I read every single one. I wanted the full truth. I needed it. Once I had all the evidence, I printed everything neatly, not to humiliate her online, not to scream at her, but so she would have no room to twist the story. I placed the stack on the kitchen counter with a simple note that read, "I hope he says your name the way you said his." Then I packed my things quietly. By the time she got home, the apartment was mostly empty. She called me 100 times, texted me non-stop. When I finally picked up, she was crying, begging, swearing it meant nothing, saying she was drunk and confused, saying she didn't want to lose me. but I had already lost her a long time ago. Se whose didn't he notice it happening? I moved out the next morning and blocked her on everything. Days later, one of her friends told me Isla broke down when she realized the man she cheated with had also blocked her after I sent him the truth. She ended up alone, not because I wanted revenge, but because karma delivered it for me. She lied to both of us, and the universe closed the door she thought she could keep open. Healing wasn't quick. It wasn't easy, but it was real. I started rebuilding myself, brick by brick. I found peace in my solitude, strength in my honesty, power in the fact that I walked away without losing my integrity. The moral is simple. A person who can whisper someone else's name while sleeping next to you has already left the relationship in their heart, and someone who lies their way into love will eventually face the truth alone. If you're ever unsure, trust your soul. It never whispers without reason. Subscribe to SilkMirror for more real-life stories of heartbreak, revenge, and transformation.